The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Rathel, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is roll call. Mr. Moran is here. Mr. Rathel?
Here.
Mr. Mans?
Here.
Mr. Filarski?
Here.
Mr. Hornby?
Here.
Mr. Loftus?
Here.
Mr. Heil? Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
I move approval as submitted. Second.
Motion by Mr. Rathel, supported by Mr. Loftus to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is presentations. Janelle, any presentations tonight?
We don't have any presentations today, but Mr. Chair, we do not have the minutes for tonight, so we will have to remove those.
We will move on to our next item, which is public comment. Is there anyone in the public that would like to make a comment? If you'd like to approach the podium and give us your name and address?
My name's Richard Labar. I live on 25,408 4th Street. I just want to support for the Island Athletics. It seems like a really good thing. Once it's closed, there'll be nowhere on the island to go to. So any consideration you give to them, I'd appreciate.
Thank you.
Afternoon, I'm Bill Vollenweider, 26621 East River Road. And just echoing what he says, I'm not sure, there's a lot of rumors going around, so some of us are here just to see what the status is of the athletic club. Obviously, it serves a lot of people, and I think it's a big asset for the community, so I'm not sure what you have planned going forward, but just want to hear, maybe you can dispel some of the rumors that are floating around. So, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mary Leone, and I live at 8449 Matthias Drive, condo number 19. I moved to the island 3 years ago. I was born and raised in Trenton, and coming over here after a divorce, sold my house, the whole thing. And, you know, I'll tell you, I came over here with some preconceived ideas, and I'm glad to say that they're not true. And I love living over here. It's so quiet, peaceful. People wave at me. I'm like, what's going on here? You know, as I'm walking my dog. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I also am concerned about island athletics. I have a 30-year-old high-functioning autistic son. He drives. He works a part-time job. And he moved in with me after I moved over here. He wanted a place to go work out, so he went and joined Island Athletics. And I felt very comfortable with him going there. I spoke to Alan. I explained his situation, his little idiosyncrasies, his quirks, things like that. And they have been nothing but accepting and very kind. And if that closes, I will not let him go to Planet Fitness. I don't trust that place. I don't want to support a corporation like that. You know, they say, oh, it's a judgment-free zone. No, I've been there. I know what goes on there. I see people sitting around looking at everybody. And if somebody were to go up to him and start something with him, he wouldn't know what to do. Over here, I know he's safe. I can let him drive over here by himself. He has such a commitment to going there and doing a workout, and he loves it. So I'm really just, I don't want to see this close. And I know there's a contract, and I know there are issues and items and things like that. But you know what? It doesn't have to be ironclad. You can pivot. You can learn to pivot and figure something else out. You know, I think there's a lot of people on this island that really would support anything to keep that open. So I'm just wanted to put that out there for you and let you know that, you know, there's a lot of people who use it, but my son uses it, and that's who I'm most concerned about. So thanks for listening.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I make a
Mr. Loftus.
suggestion. Obviously, we have a lot of people interested in Highland Athletics tonight. It's going to be a topic of discussion. Janelle's going to cover the timeline, the contractual issues, all the developments, all the status. You'll all know what we know, and I think the discussion will be time will be a lot better spent. I think we're all working towards the same thing. So bear with us for a while. We've got some stuff just to plow through, but that's going to be a hot topic tonight, and we'll all leave knowing a lot more than we came in with. Can we suspend the comments on Island Athletics until towards the end of the meeting? Or can I recommend that?
I'd rather hear their comments instead of making them sit through our whole meeting. They're not going to be interested in the business of the airport other than Island Athletics, I don't think, so.
Do we want to change the agenda and move that up first?
Well, we're under a public comment right now.
Do we want to bring Janelle into the discussion,
Sure,
cover the
we'll
timeline?
discuss it after we hear all the public comment.
Yeah, my point was kind of be, the public comment may be different after we've covered the,
We can move
Contract.
up the discussion of this item if that's what you're wanting to do after public comment, sure.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Rathel.
I'm just looking at the agenda. And is it under manager's report? What would we move up?
Yeah, I was going to say, it really isn't an
there is-
item on the agenda, but I think at some point at the end of
Well-
public comment, we can certainly make comments.
I think there may be some clarification that the Grosse Township Facility Maintenance Agreement is the rec discussion topic. The one that we have the annual agreement with the Grosse Rec Department. Just wondering if there was some confusion there.
I guess my question is, looking at the agenda and preparing for the meeting, I mean, were we going to discuss the lease and
Which lease?
the
We
Island
weren't gonna,
Athletics lease and
we were not gonna discuss the Island Athletics lease. There is a topic to talk about the recreation lease that we have with Gyra. And we have just our annual review for that.
so I guess my question is,
okay, just to keep running on here, I was under the impression we were going to, because we knew there's public interest, it's all over social media, that was going to be a topic of discussion tonight. I guess I misinformed myself.
Yeah, it's not a discussion item on the agenda, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having some type of response to the issues that are being brought up tonight from the public. Is there, yes, sir.
We're still in, so go ahead.
My name's Mike O'Donnell, 9805 Gregory, and I'm kind of leaning towards Brian because for us to tell you we want to keep it open, it's kind of obvious, right? But we're hearing, is there another use for the hangar that's planned? I don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions, but one of the rumors going around, they're going to put airplanes in there. Are they?
Can't put
Or is that a plan?
Yeah, they can't put airplanes in there. It's a wood structure, so it's
Okay,
not
okay,
a
good,
feasible
good, okay.
option.
Is the rec department, or is there still an idea to keep it a rec department? I mean, would you prefer to do that if the contract works out?
yeah, Mr. Chair, let me just, first of all, I think most of us up here use the facility. And most of us have been involved with keeping it an athletic facility, tennis center, worked really hard to get other activities, okay? So throughout the course of that building, we have always worked really hard to maintain it as an activity center for the community. However, we are not the recreation department. We are not charged with having to subsidize any kind of activity, even aviation. We're here for aviation. We don't take any taxpayer money to run this airport. All the funds that we put into that building and other buildings are generated by user fees and rents that we charge. So we have that facility and we know what it is. It's a big building. It's very costly. Okay, it's a building, unfortunately, that we have had to deal with. To tear the building down, we had an estimate a couple years ago of $700,000. We can't afford to tear it down. So we have to keep it going, okay? But we have to keep it going and generate as much revenue as we can and find that balance of what revenue can we generate out of that building, okay, that makes a good business decision and sense for us. We put $160,000 into the roof here in our last year's budget. We're doing everything we can to maintain that building, but it is a big building. There's issues with the building that come up. So we have to find and strike a balance of return and also what we can do to bring people down to the airport. This commission for many, many, many years have taken a stance that we want to make this airport community friendly. We put Township Hall here in 2000. We have Island Fest here. We have memorial representations in the memorial gardens. We have races down here. We have so much activity. We have the antique shows, and we have air shows, and we have just so many things that we do that benefit the community. We gave land to the recreation department to put soccer fields. We lease land for football at a very low rate to help the community. So we are all focused on the community. I use that facility, play pickleball there all winter. I don't think that there's anybody that is looking to get rid of that building as an opportunity for recreation. However, I'll say it again, we are not the Recreation Commission. The Recreation Commission is probably a better commission for you all to be in front of if you want recreation in that building. Because we only operate with financial obligations to the community to make sure that you all as residents never have to pay $1 in your taxes to support this airport. So every deal that we do is based upon the financial return. And we put together leases, and we help people. We certainly do. We help people and started our leases. The lease that we're talking about now is almost 5 years. We've done everything we can to help. No doubt. Okay? But there's times where these businesses either succeed or they fail. And we just can't subsidize businesses, okay, that don't have the ability to pay what we need. And we have a 35-year history of what we can expect out of that building. We're not unreasonable. We don't want to put anyone out of business. But we don't want to put us out of business either. So there's no one up here thinking, let's get rid of it and let's not have any community activity for the residents. No one is thinking that. We're not thinking about airplanes. We're not. If there's anything that's going to happen, we're going to go out for an RFP, okay, request for a proposal to anyone and anyone who wants to operate out of that facility. And the only reason that we're 6 months out of when the lease is expired is because it takes that long for us to get the RFP out. We can't just on October 31st when the lease expires to say, oh, right, they're not going to come, they're not going to renew it, so now let's try to find somebody else. We need to find somebody in there that's willing to take over the building and keep it going next winter. I would be heartbroken. I'd be saddened if next winter we don't have that facility for all of us who use it to go in there and play tennis. You know, Mr. Koblak, Kurt Koblak is a very dear friend of mine, okay? He has worked years and years and years and years to keep that place as a tennis facility. We have worked together when I was back on the board to make that place a tennis facility. we're all trying to figure out what's best, okay? And the only reason this came to light is because we sent a letter roughly 6 months before the lease was expired to say, what are you doing? Are you staying or are you going? And if you're going, okay, we're going to go out and try to find an RFP. If you're staying, then let's sit down and talk about it.
Well, that helps. I appreciate it. Thanks. It's a business case now, right?
It's always, this commission is 100% business.
Well, that helps me a lot. I mean, it knocks down all the other issues that are out there, and it boils it down to, is it financially responsible to keep it
And
going?
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Mike O'Donnell.
Michael. This group right here spends hundreds of hours working for this community, in the community. What we have gone through with this social media in the last couple of weeks and what we've heard has been heartbreaking. We don't get paid. We're not elected officials. And to hear the stuff of what people have been saying, the false narrative that has been generated out there, I can just say it's been heartbroken. But we are not going to negotiate in public. We're not. We're not going to sit up here and say what the lease was, what it was, this and that. We're not. It's not fair to anybody to negotiate in public. We're going to negotiate like we do it. The other 100, we got 32 leases at this airport that Janelle manages and that we all look at, okay, on a regular basis. Rents start here, rents go up, people move out, we get new people in. This is the cycle that we've had since 1971, since the township was basically this airport was thrown at them, all right? If you stay and you look at our financials, you can see that we have capital reserves now where we have financial stability here at the airport, okay? That helps us put money back into the airport, helps Island Fest, helps all the other things that we do as a community so that you all can come down to the airport and be proud of this facility. Be proud. I mean, just come down and use it, and we encourage that. We want people to come down here because if you come down here and you're using it and it's positive, then the airport itself isn't invasive, it isn't intrusive. If you look at our mission statement that we put together 20-some years ago, it is outlined very clearly. Our first thought of whenever we're doing something is how it affects the residents and the neighbors, and we steward to be good neighbors. And you can look it up online. Janelle could probably read it. So I'm sorry if I got on my soapbox, okay, but I've been on this commission for 29 years, and I have given my heart and soul to this airport and this community and make this a wonderful place. And I don't get angry. I'm way past that, but I got to say, I've been very heartbroken with the misinformation that's been going on, and it's needless. It is needless. But I don't have Facebook. I don't get into social media. I don't do any of that because of all of this. But Janelle's there. Janelle is an incredible manager. Thank God we have Janelle running this airport. And she is available all the time to answer questions about all of this stuff. And myself and Ron and Chris and Greg, I mean, you look at this commission, I mean, these guys are like, I'm in awe of this commission. And they're all very much for Grosse's growth as a community, culturally, financially, and sustainability is what we're all about. So I'll stop talking, but I don't know if that helps. If anyone wants to come up and ask more questions.
No, that helps. Thank you.
But I can tell you, we're not going to negotiate with any of our tenants in public.
Very well said, John. I mean, good job. About summed it up.
I am Ronald Taylor in East River. As far as misinformation or mission statement, I was on the website and I didn't see a mission statement. So where's that available if you could tell me?
Janelle can find it for you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I did make a call into this committee last week, and I might have missed a call, but I don't recall getting a call back. As far as misinformation, what I've heard is that currently they pay $2,500 a month, and now they're going to $5,000 a month. So if that's misinformation, then so be it. And as far as an RFP and all that, I got it. I understand it's a business and everything, but I don't know. If that's the case, I don't know. I'm just, like I say, there's misinformation that I'm not sure what all you're hearing, but that's what I know.
Yep, thank you.
So, yeah, if you could, I don't know if you can email me a mission statement or print one for me.
Mission. Pardon?
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
For
commission.
our
for-
mission. It's the vision statement, mission
Vision
statement.
statement.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned that there's one
Yeah,
Yeah.
available. So I'd like to get a hold of that somehow.
Okay. If you want to call me and leave me a,
call last week, as I said.
I returned, anyways, if you want to maybe wrap up and, yep, thank you.
Any other public comment? Guess I'll make one last statement, and that is, prior to this meeting, a couple of us board members did meet with Island Athletics, so they have approached us to keep discussions going. Not sure where that's going to go, but we are talking, so we'll see where that goes.
And that is Bill Vollenweider again. Just as you go forward, I don't know what else we can use that for, but I was a businessman for a lot of years, and I certainly understand financial. And so if we go forward, whatever we put in there, can we look at the longevity of it? Will it be there after 2, 3, 4, 5 years? And are they capable of paying the rent? And will it be more or less than we're currently getting? So just, I know you're all businessmen, I know you're all smart, but just keep that in mind because it does serve a large portion of the community. And I've even talked to a couple of people as, gee, if we have to kick in some money, maybe we can kick in, whether it's $50,000 or $100,000 or whatever it is. So there's a contingency out there that's willing to put forward some money, depending on what you guys decide.
well, I'll make a comment. In 2019, some of us on this commission worked very hard for a year to put together a lease with the recreation department for that building. So we thought that it would be better served in a recreation department. Mr. Loftus was the supervisor of the board of that time, and that lease actually passed. So we were prepared, Kim O'Farrell was the manager at the time of the recreation, and that lease passed. However, it was right at the election season, election time, and the building became an issue, and COVID hit, and, there was just, the lease fell apart, even though it was like approved.
Should we maybe approach the recreation department again?
Bill, so trust me, I would love it to go to the recreation department. However, looking and talking to the recreation people, the commission and the managers, they have no interest in it. Even after all the excitement within the community about keeping, the building, for recreation, they have no interest. They are not going to take over the building.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thanks for your help, and sorry about all those emails you're getting.
Any other public comment? Thank you. We will move on to our next item, which is our financial report for May 2025. We have a financial report in front of us that reads that our budgeted revenue for the year is $1,587,694. Our year-to-date revenue is $240,807, and that equals 15% of our budget. Our expenditures are budgeted at the same $1,587,694, and our year-to-date encumbrances and expenditures are $197,191, and that's 12% of our budget. We currently have $777,775 in our capital reserve as of the end of May, and we have a past due rent at $12,198. Janelle, is there anything you want to point out on the financial report?
Sure, just a couple of quick notes. You'll notice that the expenditures for the period is roughly $102,000, and that consists of just a couple of things. One would be the taxiway Charlie, Echo, and Foxtrot, being that we're waiting on our federal grant funding for that, which has not gone through the feds just yet. It was approved in the state level, but we're just waiting for that to come back from the feds. But with regards to that, we do have to pay the design fee for that up front, which was already completed, and that's like $37,000 roughly. We did purchase the bat wing that was approved. And I think that it was roughly about $20,000, which we budgeted for, so we came under budget on that. And really quickly, just the Kitty Hawk. I did speak to him actually today. Should have a payment for that. The $5,000 payment will be made before too long. Interesting story about the T-hanger tenant. Really quickly, so it turns out that the plane is not registered through the FAA. It's actually through an LLC. So the plane is not registered through the gentleman who rents the hangar, and it turns out that the owner of that plane is deceased. So I talked to the attorney, and I'm trying to reach out to the estate to find out if we can get whoever is the representative of the trust, whether it's the beneficiary or whatever, in order to see if we can get the rightful owner of that aircraft in order for this to be dissolved. But that's kind of what's happening in that. So I did speak to the attorney. I sent a letter. I sent a letter to the trust, and I sent an eviction notice to the tenant who really didn't own the aircraft. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with this one. And I guess that's it for my report.
Tenant initially have an aircraft?
The tenant leased the aircraft from this individual, I guess. And so he was leasing it, and I didn't know it was leased because it was in an LLC. So I didn't really check the LLC owner through Laura until once there was continuous delinquent rent. So once I actually found out who the owner of the aircraft was, I looked him up in the obit, and anyways, so that's kind of what happened.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Rathel.
in our past due, the first and third, can you just comment on those two?
So the third one, I'm not sure. I mean, that happens sometimes, so.
Really?
Yeah. The check's in the mail. And what's that? Yeah, the check's in the mail. And then the first one is just the ongoing one that tends to be late often. But he did reach out to me today, which is pretty common. Normally he'll reach out and then he'll say he'll pay, and he'll usually get caught back up, and then he falls back behind. It's just this continuing.
Okay, tell the third one to write you a check and hand deliver it, not put it in the mail.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that, but, you know.
All right.
Any other comments or questions on the financial report? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rathel, supported by Mr. Mans, to approve the May 2025 financial report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our action items, and the first item is the Grosse Township Facilities Maintenance Agreement.
And
Janelle?
action item?
You got it under action items, and then
Oh, I have
underneath
it
that,
under-
it's a discussion item, so
It's
I'm not
just-
sure.
It's
Is
under,
it a
dis-
discussion
it's
action
under,
item?
no, it's just a discussion. There is no action.
All right, we'll have a discussion.
I don't have an action item.
Where do you see? I don't see an action
Oh,
item.
it's just, it's the headings
the header.
came together.
That's all.
Yeah, okay, well, just wanted to kind of touch base on this. I know we talk about this annually, and here we are. I actually talked to Zaid about this a while ago. And Zaid and I need to wrap back around to it in order to extend this out. This is our agreement between the rec department and then JIRA. So it really needs to be executed by the rec department, and this would be in reference to the football fields over, what would that be? East of the soccer fields or over there. And this is a lease agreement that we have with them annually for $1 a year, and they maintain it, and this is just our agreement and who actually maintains that facility. So just wanting to let you guys know that it'll be up for discussion coming up here as soon as Zaid gets back in the office, because he has been out.
Okay, any question on the facilities maintenance agreement? Hearing none, we'll move on to the manager's report.
Well, I think John covered a lot of it, so I'll just kind of run down here just some things that are going on. Just a friendly reminder that on July 27th at noon, we do have that former pilot that was based here who will be donating some of his belongings. I know that the Historical Society will be here, and I'd like to just extend the invitation for whoever is able to come. I think it's always really nice and special to honor these people that, serve for our country and that were stationed here at Grosse. So just a friendly reminder there. I don't know.
What time is that?
At noon. And then I'm just going to keep going down the list here. But the beacon, once again, the light stopped working. Did you notice this? So it was out of commission, but luckily we have an awesome super pilot out there that took it upon himself, Mr. Joe Lemansky. Thank you so much. Who have been working with DTE again. He actually pulled it out. The transformer was gone. It's fixed, and it looks like as I was coming in this afternoon, DTE was out there, so it should be back up and running. So once again, I thank you for everyone that was helped participate in the continued maintenance of that beacon. The 422 crack seal, which was the state local program that we had been waiting for, is complete. And as you know, we did get the way that it was that for whatever reason, the amount that went in for the original scope of work didn't quite cover it. So it was roughly like $10,000 that while the contractor was here, we grabbed that contractor so we could get that same amount that was bidded out through the state. And they were able to finish the crack seal on that, which was roughly another, I don't remember how many linear feet it was, but it was like they missed the mark by almost 50% when it was a major mark miss. So that was about $10,000 for that repair for that. So we did, because the paint is happening on Wednesday, so the airport will be closed on Wednesday because we do have the paint, which we did verify that is the proper amount of paint for that. So that will be happening on Wednesday. Obviously, I'll put the NOTAM out, and I mean, everyone has been notified of the closure coming up, but I would imagine we'll be open in the evening time, weather permitted. I don't know what the weather looks like. So that's that. The expansion of Pirates Cove, I know we've talked about this before, but Pirates Cove is expanding their facility, so they've been great to work with. I don't know how many buildings or units that they have, but I think they're building some larger units over there. So that'll be good for the residents as far as the expansion of Pirates Cove. Obviously, they must be doing well if they felt the need to expand their facility for more storage units.
So, Janelle, when you say that they're not taking up any more land, they're just
No.
building more buildings on their existing land.
That's correct, on the inside, correct. Good question. All right, the fountain looks awesome on Intrepid Pond. I do have to say thanks, John, for making that go. And with that being said, I'd like to just mention that our summer maintenance guys did a great job, getting that in there. Wasn't an easy task, but it looks like it's been going well and it looks pretty, and just another little, beautification, and I think it looks great over there. So just
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Rathel.
is there a plan to cut the phragmites too?
well, the guys cannot really cut those phragmites so easily, unless they're going to wear like waders, and the phragmites were just cut.
They were?
Yes, they grow really quickly.
Okay. I thought, it doesn't look like there as many as there were, but they're still there, so.
They will come back, and they will come back, and they will come back.
Okay. I just don't want the pond covered up with them.
Well, we beautify the pond.
Mother
Best-
Nature.
And Mother Nature.
Is this item 5, the Intrepid Pond, is that where?
Yes.
That's over at Meridian and Intrepid where it comes together? It's on the
Correct.
south
Correct.
west corner.
Yes.
Mr. Filarski.
I just wanted to make a comment that the maintenance guys are doing a real nice job repairing those little asphalt berms in front of the hangar that prevent the water from coming back into the hangars.
Okay.
So, I mean, it looks like it's really professionally done, like you hired the asphalt guy to do it, so
Good. Good.
pass that along.
Yeah, I will for sure. I mean, the repairs that those guys have been doing on the T hangers in general has been pretty on point. So those of you that haven't seen them out there, but honestly, we have two fantastic maintenance guys. I really can't thank them enough. And the work and I might as well just say, I mean, just the work that they put in through Island Fest, and the work that goes leading up to Island Fest and then after Island Fest, and helping facilitate, the cleanup after that. The guys do a one heck of a job, and they work well with the rec department, and I just can't really thank them enough. So thank you for pointing that out, Daryl. Island Pawadise and the Uhaul. I know that was kind of our test case here for a dog kennel and whether or not that was going to work. And it turns out that I think that it's been well received by the community. So I would like, it's been about a year now since they've been in, right? Since we approved that lease last year, right? And I know we spent a lot of work working on that. So I thank you guys so much for that, because honestly, it has been a great community asset for a lot of people that, are able to do that. And in order to help, with them, I think that the U-Haul next to the Pirates Cove has really been working out well. So that's been great. I know I mentioned the EAA. Mr. Loftus brought that up the last time. We did have a great turnout for the first EAA Chapter meeting, which was with Hall's Flying Service, and which Hall's has been working really well in order to educate children here out of the high school and bring more positive awareness to the airport. So I'd like to, thank Halls for that as well. And I guess the last two things is, I know that John, you had kind of covered all of this, but the Nature and Land Conservancy, we did have our annual meeting. I don't know, within the past couple of weeks. Just wanted to let you know that the stewardship between the Nature and Land Conservancy, which is the nature walk up and down the old seaplane base that was opened up however many years ago, but the stewardship there has been working quite nicely, and so our annual meeting went well, and we had another more public train. Actually, the fire department was out over the weekend, end of last week, so training went well there last week, and I guess that's it for my report.
I have a question, if I might ask.
Sure.
Back there on item 5, the Intrepid Pond,
Yes.
I drive by regularly. There's a lot of the evergreens that seem to be brown. I'm guessing it's spiders. I don't know. I'm no biologist, but if someone could pay attention to this, I know our guys are working hard. I'm not here to be critical, but it would be good. Those are valuable shrubs, and they're in bad shape, some of them, and it spreads. And if we could look into that, it would be helpful. I'm not sure who's responsible. I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay, thank you. Duly noted. Thank you.
This is not the only spot, by the way. I believe if you go up to Grosse Parkway, we have a couple of centers there where they're also in the same condition.
Okay. I'll have to go out and take a look at that and figure out.
Well, it's not a big deal in a way, but if you lose them, it's not going to look as nice as it has, and that would
Yeah.
be a shame.
Yeah, no, I understand. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for Janelle on her discussion items?
Yes, I'll make a comment. Item number, was it 6, Uhaul? I can confirm the benefit. There's a Uhaul sitting out there now that came in with my daughter and son-in-law Saturday from Akron, Ohio. And it was really nice. After loading and unloading in a long day, that
right there.
that was very convenient, so.
Glad it worked out for you, Mr. Hartley.
Go figure, you never know.
Mr. Chair, I mean, there's a perfect example of working with a business to help them get started, right? And then, and,
Yes.
and, you know, the lease and rent, you know, it's just success, right? They ran their business and have grown with it, so, and it helps the community. We look at those things a lot, so.
Move on to our next item, which is our subcommittee reports. We have the airplane donation. Is that
Darryl?
Mr. Rathel?
No, it's Darryl.
Mr. Filarski?
I don't really have anything to add about that.
Darryl is our quiet banker, okay?
Got an airplane in Canton, I guess, we gotta figure out how to bring home, right?
I mean,
That's an
we need a little
adventure.
bit, we need a little bit more than that, right? I think, or is that good?
No. How are we going to get it here? That's what I want
So,
There's some
after,
logistics.
How many
after,
decades?
25 years of scouring and searching and 2 years of working with the owner of this Grumman Tracker S2, right, Brian?
Correct.
It's an S2. It's a plane that used to fly off of aircraft carriers. It's a little bigger plane, has fold-up wings. If you want to look it up, a Grumman Tracker S2. This particular plane was stationed here at Grosse when it was a Naval Air Station. And the owner donated it to us last week after long time effort by a lot of us, and Darryl and I and Janelle flying down to the airport that it's at. So, and Darryl is a man of few words, but when he talks, you listen because it matters. And he said, "Now we gotta figure out how to get it here," and that's it. It does not fly. So.
Does it walk?
So I'm hoping next year at this time we could say, well, the airplane is here, and but we have to figure all that out. But it's very, very exciting, very exciting, and we have room in our big hangar here, our hangar number 1, and we have an EAA chapter that hopefully will be involved with this, and there's pilots that hopefully will be involved with this. It's for the community, but it's going to be great for the pilots, the men and women out of the flight school to chip in and all work to hopefully get it taxiing up and down, give rides in it because the motors still work. So anyway, we're excited, and we finally just got that. So good job, Darryl and Brian. And everybody here for helping getting that done. So.
Yep. Thank you to all of you that put time and effort into doing that. I know it took a long time, and now we just need to get it here. So, next item on the agenda is commission members' reports. Anyone have any open business tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to the commission chair report, and I have nothing new to report tonight, so we will open it back up to public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none, hearing no public comment, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Loftus.
before we close, I want to add just a little bit to Mr. Rathel's comments earlier this evening regarding what this commission does. For anybody still listening out there, as Mr. Ravel pointed out, there are no tax dollars go to supporting this airport. On the other hand, regardless of the revenue we generate, thanks to Janelle working about 40 hours a day, we are a I would say profitable, if that's maybe not the right word. We're not a subsidized entity. We can't plow that money back into the community. It has to stay within the airport or the Commerce Park.
Very well.
With that, though, what this airport, what this commission, what this facility can do is provide value to the community. I think that's what we're talking about today. The tennis center, whatever guys it funded, we want that to operate where it brings value to the community. The small businesses, value to the community. Island Fest, value to the community. Everything we do here is to keep this airport solvent, keep it available for aviation, and bring value to the community. It's not an easy task. A lot of people don't like airports in their backyard. We are going out of our way to make people glad that Grosse Municipal Airport and the Airport Commerce Park is a functioning facility. Again, bringing value to the community. That's why we're here. That's my little comment.
Thank you, Mr. Loftus.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well said, Brian.
I thought you were going to thank your wife, your lovely wife, Ann, for bringing you here tonight because you can't see 3 feet in front of you.
She's my chauffeur tonight. Hi, sweetie.
Anything else? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Loftus, supported by Mr. Filarski to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.